Namo Dhamma Shri Please adjust your posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Maitreya. Think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but for numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and the causes of excellent happiness that are virtue. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. Or cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as pain, sickness, and harm caused by 4 elements. May their bodies be free from the discordant class. Or free their bodies from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class, discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as the sufferings of fear, and all coarse and subtle negative discursive thought. May their minds be free from the discordant class. I will free their minds from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with a conflicting virtue, such as lying. May their speech be free from the discordant clouds. I'll free their speech from the discordant clouds. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with a conflicting virtue. May their three doors be free from the discordant class. I will free their three doors from the discordant cloud. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and the causes of suffering. Our freedom from all suffering and the causes of suffering. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I do take the responsibility, I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect, complete enlightenment now. Who has such abilities? Only those who have achieved the state of enlightenment, state of perfect, complete enlightenment, have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into the aspect of a complete mundi at one heart. the ultimate bodhicitta, which is one's mind becoming in one taste with the emptiness of inherent existence of all phenomena. These transform into the aspect of a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundi. Next, we meditate on the meaning of emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one. If they were inherently one, they would necessarily be established as partless one. If they were partless one, there would be faults. It would be pointless to assert a self. Self would become many. Self would arise and disintegrate. It would be unreasonable to remember past lives. Karma one has done would be wasted. One would meet with karma that one has not done. The self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one. The self and the aggregates also do not exist as inherently different. If they were inherently different, they would necessarily be established as unrelatedly others. Therefore, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one or inherently different. Hence, is empty of inherent existence. It's very important to conjoin the roots of virtue of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. Thus, to conjoin these roots of virtue with the practice of six perfections, it is as follows. The first one is generosity. The nature of generosity is an intention of giving. These 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma is for the arising of happiness and bring all sentient beings of suffering. If I engage in this manner while manifesting these intentions of giving, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of generosity. Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds without letting them manifest. If I engage in this way, then this root of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of morality. Next is patience. The nature of patience is a mind that is undisturbed. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will patiently endure all hardships and sufferings of my body and mind. If I engage in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of patience. Next is joyous effort. The nature of joyous effort is a mind enthusiastic for virtue. I will joyfully and enthusiastically engage in listening, contemplation, and meditation on the Dharma. If I engage in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of joyous effort. Next is concentration. The nature of concentration is a mind that single-pointedly abides on virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the virtuous object without being overcome by distractions and discursive thoughts. If I engage in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of concentration. The last one is wisdom. The nature of wisdom is a knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and unmistakenly engage. I will properly and unmistakenly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to engage in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of wisdom. Set a good motivation. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For these, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings. So today we are going to begin with using citation for that which is difficult to realize. And then the first outline is connection of the explanations of the three jewels to scripture.
너무 정말 가가 나와는 그 미기 쉐발라 텐데 내가 뒤에 요새 되게 미기 따와 미소 딱 간다 너무 쉬워 그냥 따와 미소 요새 다데 내가 이거 말에 야 빨리 미시비 또 봐. 이거 말해서 가다 또 봐. 쉬워라 이거 봐. 그러면 무슨 더 다른 거 말이지 와 무슨 또 말이지 내가 들어와 또 말이지 이 주진이께 도와 이시 받으라 산지 분이 들어가 된다게
So here is how three jewels are stated. Three jewels is taught in the scripture. So it says, Ananda, the ultimate Tathāgata, the emptiness of inherent existence, the separation from all adventitious defilements, cannot be shown to the eyes, consciousness, and so forth. So it cannot be seen with the eyes. It can also not be realized by a conventional consciousness. So what does it mean is this the ultimate Tathāgata here it refers to the Buddha jewel. So he says it cannot be shown to the eye consciousness, and then it cannot be seen with the eyes, and then it cannot be realized by a conventional consciousness as well.
그게 이제 양자는데 같은 거 전담 비치는 나도 그 도시 또 저기 이게 내가 그래서 그때 내 임비실이 되는 나이 해봐 누마 해서 된다 들어와 다 간다 그거 좀 다 간다 도마 된다 쉬고 도마 쉬고 도 지금 마셔야 다 간다 연담 비치 군에서 와대 다다 또바게 다도게 또 도마 도 비치 지제 도마 해서 와 나도 또 비치 지제 도마 해 무슨 도마 또바이나 뭐 너무 많이 들어와. 네, 내가 미치고 있는데 나 너비 지지 또 그거 말해서
또 말어.
너비 지지 또 봐이나 너비 지지 또 봐이나 내 간다 디 출라 취샤와 나지 무슨도 또 가지고 해서 나도 그때 와 나도 그 제대로 말해 간다 또지 줘봐 너무 말해서 드시 와 내가 그다음 나도 그 또지 너비 지지 줘 말해서 나 이제 봐 나지 근데 또 봐디 또 말해서 봐 그러니까 간다 또지 줘봐 말해서 또지 도비치 제대로 말해 했다 된다 되시고
And he says, Ananda, the ultimate Dharma is inexpressible by the complete realizations of it through terms and concepts. So it means that this ultimate Dharma is inexpressible by the complete realization of it through terms and concepts, meaning that it cannot be, the modes of realization is not complete. So the ultimate Dharma is inexpressible by the complete realization of it through terms and concepts, meaning that it cannot be, the modes of realizations of it is not complete. In other words, it cannot be realized by the complete realizations of it through terms and concepts. So it means that the modes of realization is not complete. So if you were to say that if it were a complete realization in relation to this ultimate dharma, then it would if it were a complete realization, then it would be like pouring water into water. So since it's not the case, therefore the ultimate dharma is inexpressible by the complete realization of it through terms and concepts.
오히려 다가나 되는 나이 niveau 미스라서 어때는 최근에 딱 간다 간다 최근에 나이 niveau 말이 했다도 뭐니요 말아
And due to this reason, it cannot be heard with the ears.
다 간다 나이 niveau 말이세 간다 데려와 된다 미치고 이렇게 시시고 그거 된다 미인디서 와데 이 맛이 와서 이지 와레스 이 말이 좀 받대 내가 담바데 내가 담비 내는 리지 그래서 차차와다 생중원수도 또 비슷해 대바시 니고하셔 말이스 니고시 니 말이스 다 인디고도 치고로
So here, therefore, it cannot be heard with the ears. So it refers to the ultimate dharma. So ultimate dharma cannot be heard with the ears. Then it continues saying, Ananda, the ultimate sangha is unconditioned, emptiness of inherent existence, and ultimate truth. It cannot be worshipped directly through persuasion or praise through conceptual realization by the mind.
我到这个做到这七八小伙子，我们忙做，今天呢上去了，到我小伙子去了年把小伙，给你一年贵的，而且他都我也是差不多吧，因为也是差不多的，那等你给七八的七过了的话，还给过的，你给不要多给接，这都比自己接的要嘛，那一年你好嘛小伙子，是吧？主要看到圣经我是都把我是都比自己对吧？是那个些你嘛是吧？那可嘛的我们的你那七八十他过的话，当我这几天呢上去了，到我说去了那个时候，你们那个的查询意思的话，那都我也是啥的意思。
And he says, it is well known that Buddhas can be seen, the Dharma heard, and the Sangha worshipped. So this is true in reality, right? So Buddhas can be seen, the Dharma can be heard, and Sangha can be worshipped or honored. So therefore, we have to understand the difference between words before this and the paragraph before this and this paragraph. So because previously it says the Buddha jewel can the ultimate Tathāgata or the Buddha jewel cannot be shown to the eye consciousness, and then it is inexpressible by the complete realizations through terms and concepts, and cannot be heard with the ears, and cannot be worshipped or honored. So we have to understand the difference between these two paragraphs.
那这个七八年我们是嘛，这玩意儿能干怎么吃？性格是能干的吃的不多，能干怎么吃的？我上去工作了，到我你个妈的是，我那上去工作了，到我小娃，一定上去到我小娃那样子，去工作了，你把小娃妈的是的，要进去的了，去工作你把小娃累死了就多了，那跟你工作了，你个小娃妈的是看多些了哇，那我呢，跟你工作了，你个小娃累死了就多，那对你切巴的嘛，切巴呢，那两个打打差对吧？你切巴的结果对吧？
So we must understand the difference between these two paragraphs, because in this paragraph it says the ultimate Tathāgata or the Buddha jewel cannot be shown to the eye's consciousness, and however later paragraph it says Buddha can be seen, and then here referring to the ultimate Dharma, the Dharma jewel, then it is inexpressible by the complete realizations of it through terms and concepts. And then, however, the later sentence says the Dhamma can be heard, and that it cannot be heard with the ears. And then, but the later sentence it says Dhamma can be heard. And then then previous paragraph it says ultimate Sangha or the Sangha jewel cannot be worshipped. And however, the later paragraph it says Sangha can be worshipped. So we must understand the difference between these two. Otherwise, then these two will seem to be a contradiction.
对，的确嘛学过的，得讲到俺说，我上去了到我小娃，俺说你听呢，上去了到我小娃说，我是到俺说看到，大家点把点上不里了嘛拍呢，看到好了嘛这个上去我是把钱钱的，看到哎有了哇，上去我是把钱钱的是吧？老嘛这个上去我是头发。 那上去个嘛，确实呢，我是捏吧，贴吧，捏确捏的贴吧，有了吧？啊，我这爹嘛，这农务局工作给这媳妇的，他那是给你捏过，他就是差吧的是吧？给你了捏过噻，那个给你老兄弟给你了，把他捏过去吧。我对我是有了吧？
So it's well known that Buddhas can be seen, the Dharma can be heard, and the Sangha can be worshipped. So this is true in reality, right? Because our teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, came to this world, and it can be seen, or it can be seen by the disciples or those learners, and then they can and those disciples heard the Dharma teaching from the teacher, and those sangha or those sangha community that can be honored or can be worshipped.
俺这看了本来大家马的是，看到是第几习惯了，看到第几习惯的到啊，没去到啊，你个马的是，他那边多比没你把的是话，他那边先比多你个马的是，那得看到工作什么的，人当被工作往心里习惯了，人当吧马这边工作是多啊。 Dāma rāngi chūpi kōmbi kuncho tirwa.
Dāma
Dāma mā chūpi kuncho.
Madrubi
Mā
Kuncho.
chūpi kuncho tirwa. Dāma mā chūpi, dēmba mā chūpi kuncho, tā kāndā tīre.
Dāma
Kratūpa yāmi kōte wā shēba ina, dāma kuncho sū. Kratūla yāngi korwa. Dāma kuncho sū, kunzo kuncho sū yuwa. Nī chēba nī shāngu yuwa. Tā dāma kuncho sū re, tā mīki tāwa, nāi nīma mārīs. Tarwa nāi nīma mārī, mīki tāwa nīgu mārī, nāi nīgu mārīs. Tā rīka sēnji chāntsawa dā, nīji chāntsawa dā, sēnji tēpa nī kuwa dā, nī yō mārīs. Tā wā nī yō mārī. Tē jāyā dā, yuandāma kuncho sū ngō jāwa. Tarwa, yuandāma kuncho sū.
Dāma ini yang di Dāma Madrubi Kuncho Sum. Dāma Madrubi Kuncho Sum.
Dāma Madrubi. Māla shāna tīkore. Pītā mācari mācari, yuandāma kuncho sū rāba tīkore. Yuandāma sāngi kuncho, yuandāma nīgu kuncho, yuandāma chū kuncho sū yuwa. Wā tē yuandāma wā tshīni. Jōsū, dājā mārīs. Tenda kuwanda shibu kunjasu, kumasu miki toyata, kumasu nyebaya ge marisi, nyasha marisi, kumasu liji chansawa shiyo marisi, tsishiteba shaya.
So here it says the ultimate Tathāgata cannot be shown to the eyes, it cannot be seen with the eyes, and it can also not be realized by a conventional consciousness. So here it refers to the ultimate Buddha jewel. And then the second one, it says the ultimate Dharma is inexpressible by the complete realization through terms and concepts. It cannot be heard with the ears. So here it refers to the ultimate Dharma jewel. And third one is the ultimate Sangha is cannot be, as unconditioned, cannot be worshipped through physically prostration and verbal praise. So here it refers to the ultimate Sangha jewel. So previously we talked about the ultimate, the three ultimate jewels and three conventional jewels, right? So here in these first paragraphs, it refers to the three ultimate jewels. So the jewel that are not established ultimately.
Dharma chāma ina stava ina, yuandāma sāngi kuncho dā miki tāya rindu mudu, yuandāma sāngi kuncho ngā chō ngē sōdi ngō niku, yuandāma sāngi kuncho dā ngō niku, wā, ngō niku de ngā chō miki kuwāya dā tāya ngā tō re, kuya ya, tā kuya ya ngō niku sā wata. Ngō niku pe, ngā tātā tāi, ngā tātā tāni ke, tā sāngi ngō niku di. Wā, ngā tātā tāi, 다이 산지시 원이고데 그러와 원이고데 미기 원에 통하고 말와 미기 따두고 말와 다 산지 나빈지는 따두고 그래 맞아 지나 따두고 말와.
So referring to the first one, ultimate Buddha jewel. So ultimate Buddha jewel refers to the nature truth body, right? So the nature truth body that is free from all defilements. So and this nature truth body that is free, that is free from all defilements can be seen with our eyes. Can it be realized by conventional consciousness or not? Then we will understand that such nature truth body cannot be seen with the eyes, and then it cannot be realized by a conventional consciousness. So other than these, other than Buddhas, in between Buddhas, it can be seen by other Buddhas. And however, in general, when we talk about this nature truth body, it cannot be seen with the eye, cannot be seen with the eyes, and it cannot be realized by conventional consciousness.
다들 출근제 대가래. 다 상세 법이 지금 뭐디? 다 상세 법이 지금 뭐디서 그래서 정말 간다라. 어디다 안 돼서 그러니까 나이 봐. 니 두고 말아. 와. 내 이야기 이거 말해. 나이 봐라. 드라지 거로 와. 드라지는 나이 그래. 드라면은 나이 이야기 줘. 너 말아.
Similarly, the second one, the ultimate Dharma jewel, is cannot be heard with the ears. So, and previously we also explained that ultimate Dharma jewel refers to the true cessation and true path in the Arya Bodhisattvas continuum in the Arya Bodhisattvas continuum, right? So these true cessation and true paths in the continuum of an Arya Bodhisattvas cannot be heard with the ears, right? So because in order to be heard with our ears, then it must be a sound, right? So however, this is not a sound, so it cannot be heard with the ears.
변담에 근디 근저에서 와서 때 근데 지발에 쳐군요. 변담에 근디 근저를 먼저 원하는 시요. 그와 변담에 근저를 원하는 시요. 그래. 그 하나 지발에 그래서 리지 찬스 와서 해요. 말 됐고 이 찬스 님 와서 개가 말아. 생기 때 와서 님 와서 해요. 좋아.
So the third one is ultimate Sangha jewel. So ultimate Sangha jewels refers to true cessation and true path as well. So and these true cessation and true path cannot be physically prostrate to and cannot be mentally honored and verbally praised, right?
다시 그 원은 가서 상지라 다시 하서 교님 봐 샤와세. 상지 가서 수고 그 남을 때 얘기면이 그거 상지 그거와 그거 상지 그거 그다자 대마 정보다 그래서 다른게 자기가 이제는 서버는 뭐지 그거와 방에서 간다 이 상지를 하면서 다자 요거 뭐지 상지다 탑지도 가서 배 상지다 탑지도 수리는 가서 이런 뭐지 시오디 뭐지 시와 펜지도 수리 최년 바로 상지다 탑지도 수리 펜지도 되는 뭐지 미게 통해 그 최년와 안 내가 저 최년에서 너무 최고죠. 되게 식으로 와. 무슨 너무 최고죠. 소라이랑 좀 있으러 와. 너무 최고 소라 쓰니.
농기 최근조 나 대한 건조비 최근조
너무 최고죠. 와. 근데 최고죠. 와. 근데 최고죠. 그래서 뒤에 산지지 소라. 다 소라 쓰러 와. 산지 소라 쓰면 예. 쓰러 와. 어디
당연히 이제 상기 디 수국이 넘버 템바 아니 대한 건조비 상기 건조로 얘네 되게 실하게 개별 나와
산지 따와 샤와. 그 샤와이나 나스노 자이라마 산지 따고 와. 나스노 자이라마 산지 따고 그래. 산지 마다나 데스노 자이라마 때단 누구요? 누구요 말와. 가시기도 하고 또 이래다.
That's all. So, and then the later paragraph, it says it's well known that Buddhas can be seen, the Dharma can be heard, and the Sangha can be worshipped. So here it refers to Buddhas manifest in the aspects of form bodies, and then basically manifest into the aspect of form bodies, and then they are the objects that can be seen can be directly seen by the disciples. So here it refers to the conventional Buddha jewel. So in relation to one guru, in relation to one root guru, like for example, Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche, then we should see one's root guru as Buddha as well. So then, and in relation to the second one, the Dharma can be heard. So the Dharma can be heard in the sutras. Then there are lines, there are lines saying that together with a Buddha and so forth, then they listen Dharma together, right? So together with, sometimes they say, together with the assemblies of Sanghas and so forth. So together with Buddhas, and then they listen to Dharma, or they have these Dharma discourses. So those Dharma teachings can be heard. And this Dharma that can be heard refers to the scriptural Dharma jewel. Those scriptural Dharma jewels, like the 12 branches of discourses. So basically, it refers to the conventional Dharma jewel.
내가 하나 가서 gengi 와도 내가 되게 봐봐라서 가서 gengi 되는 거다. 내가 사지 표시가 근데 gengi 되는 거서 내가라서 봤더니 내가 저가 피부도 여러 한 문제가 더 이거와 근데 내가 그래서 와 내가 그랬다. 그래서 와 나도 가서 군조비 상주 군조 군조비 최군조 군조비 gengi 군조 와지 So
and then the Sangha can be worshipped or honored. So here, like for example, those Mahāyāna ayas, and then they can be worshipped or they can be honored, and then to them, some who offer who offers foods and so forth, resources and so forth to those Sangha, so as a way of honoring them and then to paying respect to them. So those are the Sanghas that can be worshipped. So basically, it refers to the conventional Sangha jewel. So it's well So in this line, it says that it's well known that Buddhas can be seen, the Dharma can be heard, and the Sangha can be worshipped. They refers to the conventional Buddha jewel, conventional Dharma jewel, conventional Sangha jewel. So they are those jewels that can be seen, can be heard, can be worshipped.
佛即是说，他刚才我说别的，我们那边他七八的好过吧，就是话，虽然好不过吧，那挺轻啊，是百万种多多啊，轻啊，百万种多，那得那个我们上去大家是我的，你把大家啊，你把你七八七八几，他去过的话，他去过就大家你把大家我你把你七八七八的，你家你把你家我你把七八七八的，你就跟着了，你不你把他，你不小你把他，你不小我你把七八的七八几，那得告诉他，等他可都得。
So we must understand the difference between the previous and later lines of sentences. That one can be seen with the eyes and can be heard, and it can be worshipped, and in relation and as compared to the previous paragraph that says it cannot be seen with the eyes, cannot be heard with the ears, and cannot be worshipped. So we must understand the difference between them. Otherwise, they seem contradiction. They seem contradict. So they seem contradict each other.
公给写吧的，但是我呢，大家说的，原本这个节假中路就我的心里，他说说写吧的，我的生个平当把大家买，我的马路把几把人也是的，我的，平当把大家买，把什么几把人，平大家也是，平当把大家也是呢，平当把多少钱我话，也要把的什么的，是吧？原本这个节假中路就我的心里，他不就是把说说写吧节，是吧？写吧节，那生个看到平当把大家。就是马路把讲的也是吧？我说上去工作人呢，如果我是那么定义呢的，是吧？这个就我也是看到工作去工作看到呢，我们个人干嘛大家嘛也是，人干嘛大家嘛也没记不了的，就什么同意我。
Đến mà ta vậy na, đến mà thì đủ rồi.
Đến mà đủ rồi. Đi học là đến mà đủ rồi mà rồi.
So then he says they are also similar in not being established ultimately as objects to be seen, heard, etc. So they refers to the the three ultimate jewels and the three conventional conventional jewels, three conventional jewels. So both sets, so whether they are conventional or whether they are ultimate, so they are similar in being not established ultimately as objects to be seen, heard, and so forth. So, whether it is an ultimate Buddha jewel or whether it is a conventional Buddha jewel, they are the same in not established. They are same in not established ultimately. So they are same in not being established ultimately. So if something were to establish ultimately, so they are not the object that can be seen ultimately. So they are not the object that can be seen ultimately. So if something were an object that can be seen ultimately, then they must establish ultimately. However, they are not established ultimately. So both three jewels, the conventional and ultimate one, so they are similar in not being established ultimately.
我到这个时候我说工作上去，人当兵的点着过来，工作班工作习惯也是老多。我顶天的看到工作上去，人当兵的点着过来，都看到工作上人当把上一级马主吧，点不脱呢，阿比看啥？详细爸爸的，详细爸爸的，我记得我说，比如啊，要详细爸爸的，我说我是属于那嘛，我说我是团员就有了吧。我第一我是工作的并不行，工作的升级工作，那工作的跟你工作，我工作的跟你工作差不多了吧。上级工作大的，上级工作大家点把他吧，上去就马主呗，后呢，他上去就准备公办，写大家点把他上去就准备东啊写，大家点把第一句东把你写我了吧，东把你等于写我的，
大家点两个什么问题？大家点把
马主吧，上去就马主吧，上去就马主吧，因为呢，大家点把就是内陆的，是吧？点把第一句的内陆就点了好了吧，点把大家点把上去就马主吧，各位的，大家点把就是。 또 쓰지나 다시 땜바지 동만이 또 와.
그래서 대 동마 대된도 내로 대된도로 대한 동만이 대된.
동만. 다시 땜바랑 이지 마두비. 마두비 내로데 땜비 돈에 다시 땜바데 그 군조바 상지 군조 정말 신기해요. 된다도 시어 군조바다 편으로 해서 된다도 좋아. 얘기 내로데 상지 군조가 내로데 땜비 돈이 하나 가다 군조바데 이말로 그래서 지바로 비교 얼마 하거나 민디 군조 다좀 받으면 된다 제 지바로 하려고 참마다 군조서기 내는 때문에 돈에 군조be 근디 군조 그 비슈 군조 참마 때문에 yes.
And he says, through showing the ultimate state of the three jewels, it also implies their conventional aspect. So, through showing the ultimate state of the three jewels, so the ultimate state of the three jewels refers to their non-inherent existence. So, it refers to their non-inherent existence of the three jewels. So, through showing these, then it also implies their conventional aspect. So, for example, through showing the ultimate state of the Sangha jewel, to the of the Sangha jewel, their emptiness or their emptiness of inherent existence of the Sangha jewel, ultimate Sangha jewel, then it also implies their conventional Sangha jewel. So similarly, through showing the ultimate state of the Buddha jewel, so the ultimate state of the Buddha jewels refers to the emptiness or the modes of existence, modes of abiding on the basis of the Buddha, then it also implies the conventional aspects of Buddha jewel or the conventional Buddha jewel. So the same applies to the Dharma jewel.
So to stand up chibachiwa, Takanda Kunjo Sanjay Tandamara, Yimatu, maybe Kande, Takanda Kunzo Badia, Timachino, yes, that and that teacher, Angazo del Shuni, Angazo de Kunjo, the Yangazo, but Chimbu, Roa, Kunjo, the table maybe when you could do the children, was to share with that dig it Cheba de Mazo, Kajachi to the Sindu one. Or Tiba Chimboina, Roa, Passion Sinti Simbitone, Passion Sinti Simbitone, Children. 지역군주가 되는 예, 와, 이거 증거이나 특별 지중 신경원이 이거 제대로 군주스다. 개범이 되리나. 와, 이범이 되리게 출근요. 이래더니 başka bir şey oldu. O dilawde. Da 개범이 비기다 니데 다좀 봐. 먼저 다좀 봐. 다 먼저 니데 다좀 봐. 저기 고라니 출근죠. 다좀 벌써 인디가 들어와. 다 드서 간다. 다 제법인지 심박이 샤요 말와. 또 제법이 있으면 샤기 요마와 뭐 되겠습니다. 다 대치 중에 신비원데 다 대바치비 군주서 되게 다 대치모지 말씀이 다 대바미비 최근 좋겠는 그 좋았을 샤고와.
So through showing the ultimate aspect, which is emptiness of inherent existence of the three jewels, it also implies their conventional aspects. So then it says, the Mahāyāna three jewels and Hinayana, Dhamma, and Sangha jewels must be perceived based on a direct realization of the ultimate truth, whether or not they are qualified by extensive or limited methods. So in Mahāyāna three jewels, the Mahāyāna three jewels and the Hinayana, Dhamma, and Sangha jewels, they are perceived whether or not they are qualified by extensive or limited methods. So referring to the Mahāyāna, for example, Mahāyāna, then Mahāyāna must be qualified or must be conjoined with the extensive methods, the bodhicitta. And however, Hinayana, they cannot be proceeded based on this qualification, which is qualified by the extensive or conjoined with the extensive methods. So, for example, here the Hinayana, Dhamma jewels and Sangha jewels, right? So cessation and true paths of curious and solitary realizers. So they are the Hinayana, Dhamma jewels, and they are not qualified by the extensive methods.
我当时我当时大概这段我是年上来去当这么多个也是老不大，也是年上我年上这么多个也不大也不习惯，
没成么，
我这么多个也是，这样就是，是吧？
And this section shows that hearers and solitary realizers realize the subtle lack of true existence, and yes, so hearers and solitary realizers, they realize the subtle lack of true existence. So in other words, hearers and solitary realizers realize the subtle selflessness. So hearers and solitary realizers, they do realize the subtle selflessness.
当我这上帝就恐怕头发了，那看长话前面呢，上帝就恐怕那蛮多的看长话前面呢，上帝就恐怕都个马的是那个话，那蛮多就我做了蛮多去，我也蛮多去，蛮多也不嘛这你看蛮多看长就也是，我给你的没办法呢，那上帝就恐怕都马的是那个，那我就别晓得年上不是了修的，上帝就恐怕头发了，要给你写了。 합시럽대 만화지라 간다. 아, 뭐니? 공부를
합시럽.
시럽.
상기기 거방토와라.
상기기 거방토와라. 이
합시럽대.
시럽. 여러 만화지. 간다. 근데 아까 내가 지금 뭐라. 그 만화지라. 공부지고 되나. 상기 거방토와라. 이 찬상화지 공부 것은 요요. 찬상화지 바이나 하신이디 야마다 찬상 보여. 좋아. 이제 전부 다 정규 생활서 봐. 내가 그때 심바지 공부. 예, 니가 심바. 아, 찬성하지 몇 번이나 선지 공부 두고 말아. 두고 말아. 어다 됐습니다. 아, 내랑 저 가다. 아. 네, 선지 공부 더 봐라. 네, 공부는 절대 만화지. 공부는지 만화지 공부해야겠어. 와. 네, 네 시티 방향에 그때 만화지 뭐네 공부해야 돼. 이나 찬성하지. 아, 공부해서 네 공부해야 말했어. 좋아. 아, 시기 뽑아라. 찬성하되 급 정주지 생기. 생각 고양 지당. 다 셔럽 돈도 비셔. 닌가도 돈에 다 생기지 보고. 이 닌가도 매바이나 대차 소요.
That sub you
셔럽이었다.
sure you're any day because
제발이
생기요 뭐.
비요 말았어. 다시 찬성 용했어. 좋아. 산지지 공부도 도와라. 다시 찬성하기 때문에 했어. 다시 레와도 했어. 하다 히로레레와 누구 했어. 다시 찬성하고 했어. 하다 히로레레와 만노이나 했어. 레레와 공부하지 만노이나 했어.
So in order to achieve the state of enlightenment, we must cultivate an unmistaken path. And not only that, the path must be unmistaken, and that path must be complete as well. So we must cultivate path not only that it is unmistaken, and it must be complete as well. So otherwise, one will not be able to achieve the state of enlightenment. So similarly, if hearers and solitary realizers wants to achieve the state of enlightenment, then they must cultivate method and wisdom as well. The path that is unmistaken and the path that is complete as well. So not only that is unmistaken, it must be complete as well. So they meditate on the meaning of emptiness unmistakenly with wisdom. So in order to abandon the knowledge obscurations. So however, is their path complete or not, then their path is not complete. They are unable to cultivate a complete path because that wisdom as the path is not completed with the method aspects, the great compassions and bodhicitta. So if one will not be able to achieve the state of enlightenment by relying on either method or wisdom. So one will be able to achieve the state of enlightenment by relying on these two, method and wisdom. So a path that is unmistaken and also is complete.
다시 마시아이다. 저 칸, 칸소 타마이와, 이소만운데 제가 시오와, 칸운데 제가 시야를 한번 컴등하고 마치 우리 거기 뭐 어떤 거가 지금 안 좋아. 이거 좋아. 근데 원래 칸운데 제가 시오와, 칸소운데 제가 와. 뭐 뭔가 저하고 차들 와. 다 카노다 저 시에리 아무 가서 신지 주지라 그럼 되어시 님고 여보 인생하고 다 신지 먼저 카노다 저 시에리 다 카노다 간다 그럼 저와다 간다 가서 띠까도지 그럼 되어시 님고 대화시 님보다 가서 신지 tragic 주라 열에서 로그다
대화시 님보다 신시 님보다 지반이나
다 지고와
나서
대화시 님보다 간다 신지 tragic 주라 열에서 로그다
teaching that is only ever the objects. Yeah. So here it says connecting the basic element to scripture. So next we're going to talk about connecting the basic element to scripture. So when we talk about basic element, the basic element, the Tathāgata essence. So there's one way of saying this. It can be called the Tathāgata essence or Tathāgata Garbha in Sanskrit, or it is also called Sugata Garbha, Sugata Garbha or Sugata essence. So Sugata essence or Tathāgata essence, then here is what basic element refers to. So the basic element, Tathāgata essence or Sugata essence, it exists in the continuum of all sentient beings.
당어즈베 나승지 탄지지라 대화시 님보데 당어서 생지 지라마도 산지사나 매스 그렇다
생지
생지 지라마도 산지사라 요 매스 보다 이거 대화시 님보데 그래서 다 생지 지라마도 생지 비바자 체도 되게 쇼로와 산지 공부해야 체도와 생지 지라자마도 다 산지사나 자요 말이에요 대화시 님보와
So when we talk about this basic element, the Sugata essence, it exists only in the continuum of sentient beings. It doesn't exist on the Buddha ground. So I repeat, when we talk about this basic element, the Sugata essence, then it exists only in the continuum of all sentient beings. It doesn't exist on the Buddha ground. So because when we talk about this basic element, the Sugata essence, it talks about in order to achieve the state of enlightenment, then it purifies negativities and so forth. So this basic element, Sugata essence, only exists in the continuum of sentient beings, not on the Buddha ground.
신진 멤버 같이 당이 산지 토문이 야도 신흉바지 여러 신흉바들라 누가 제시로 신지기 신지라 신지 간지라 누가 지금 열에서 당목이 누가 비시 좋아 신지기라 칸 대화 지금 뭐 열에서 왜로와 이 여바데 누가 가려서나 신지 멤버 같이 다다고 나다고 이나 앞에 다게 산지 공부 토문이 사 신흉든게 내가 뭐들이야 나 산지 공부 토와리야 누가 제시로
So when we say the basic elements, Sugata essence, exist in the continuum of sentient beings, so there are five great purposes of showing that Sugata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings. So why do we say that? The purpose of showing that Sugata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings, then the first purpose is to generate enthusiasm. So to generate enthusiasm suitable to attain in the lower realms. I repeat, to generate enthusiasm suitable to attain in the lower beings, feel discouraged, thinking I will not attain enlightenment. I repeat, to generate enthusiasm suitable to attain in the lower beings, feel discouraged, thinking I will not attain enlightenment. So the first purpose is to generate enthusiasm in those lower beings who feel discouraged, thinking that, oh, I will not be, I'm not able to attain enlightenment. So by through showing that Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings is to generate enthusiasm, showing that all sentient beings are suitable to able to attain the state of enlightenment. So through this, then it generates enthusiasm in the lower beings.
다 그번 님바 들어와. 다 그번 님바데. 다 신지 신라 인도자의 상지지 공부 못하고 오늘도 님바라 님바한테 땡바지도 그바지 쳐서로. 어디에 다 땡가서 신지 지지라 그새 다르다. 코로나도 때 상지 공부 어떻게 그래 셈빌에 내지지야 요아. 원이지요. 내지데 빠치도 상지 공부 토토고 말해서 수수기 때 밀라 내지 제바이나 상지가 막 진짜 가리기나 상지 공부 토토르다. 토르다. 근데 내지 제야 말했을 텐데 콜리 제고 상지 공부 토토야 열다. 열이데 어때배 상지 공부 토야 콜라 그바치고다. 단니 내지 제야 파파네 그바치고 차고.
And the second purpose is to abandon contempt, thinking other sentient beings like these will not attain enlightenment, and generate respect as one would for the teacher. I repeat, to abandon contempt, thinking other sentient beings like this will not attain enlightenment, and generate respect as one would for the teacher. So there are beings who contempt others, saying that, oh, this person cannot achieve the state of enlightenment, he will not be able to achieve the state of enlightenment. So they mistreat and they contempt others, saying in this way, thinking other sentient beings, and even saying to other person that, oh, this person cannot achieve the state of enlightenment. So then through showing that Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings, then one will come to know that this person who contempt others, saying that they are unable to achieve the state of enlightenment, is in fact not true. And because all sentient beings are able to achieve the state of enlightenment, they have Tathāgata essence in their continuum. So therefore, stop the mistreatment or contempt, thinking others in this way, and one should generate respect as one would for the teacher.
This issue that issue to chago ta sanji this issue chago ndo di chang ju la sanji ji rin do a sanji ji ri yore ro sanji ji ri yore xinje la this issue chago ya ma re so so be zhen na ta sanji ji ko to tu re是电视wa tu电视ta dang bo di da xie de wo ji de wa都是的ta gang da都是 issue chago ni mo ne mo bo yu da ne mo bo yu wa.
So these are the first two purposes of showing that Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings. And these two purposes are very important. So because in reality, they are, in fact, there are many people who feel discouraged. So they feel discouraged, thinking that I'm not able to achieve the state of enlightenment. I will not develop bodhicitta. I will not achieve the state of, I will not achieve arahantship and so forth. So those those lower beings, they feel discouraged and thinking in this way. So and through this shows that there are no need to feel this. They do not need to feel discouraged because in fact the Buddha has said that Tathāgata essence, the Buddha's lineage, exists in the continuum of sentient beings, and every sentient being is able to achieve the state of enlightenment.
kada senji de sanji de dawala moto bunda kada kuba chiya de kuba chimbo shi de da chimbo shi ni ro pe na zo na pinji la pe kana pe na shine go bai na shine go ji tu gu ma re se wa do ne ram ma te pe hela jana shine go bai na shine ji la ji tu gu ma se ni ji chimbo ji tu gu ma 향주세 이거나 제트고 말세요. 네, 샤지 사 담보 토토고마 님바 토토고마 사 지바바다 림바 토토고마서 니기페 예 걔가 니지지야 요로와 뭐 다들 니지 지어 저거니 고요마다 니지지야 고요마 예 토토고마스는 산지지 뭐 토토고를 승자리 산지 구파다 는 이거 한다 산지 구파다 게는 없다
상기기
구파다
고황되는
이거스 와 미셸라 베테랑 향주세 이라 토토고마 산 히네보나 토토고마 랑고나 다치게 고바 토토고마 사 담보 지바 당분이 지바바 림바기도 저 토토고마 산지 고바 토토고마 니켈라 니지 지야데 산지 지가다 이거다 산지 가다 이거 와 산지 토토그레 손사 와 두그레 손사 와 두그레 손사니 어깨다 가서 되는 거 와. 이 러브 왜
So especially in the second purpose, the second part of the sentence it says to generate respect as one would for the teacher, who is very significant in saying there is a great significance of saying so because in between Dharma practitioners, so sometimes some may say to others, like for example, some practitioners they are cultivating come abiding, and then other person come and say to those practitioners saying that you are unable to develop come abiding. So similarly, to a group of practitioners who develop who generate generate compassion, to practitioners who tries to generate bodhicitta, and then to a group of practitioners to practitioners who try to attain the bodhisattva's first ground, second ground, and 10th ground, up to 10th ground, and so forth. So, and then if someone were to say to them that, oh, you're unable to develop a realization in your practice, you're unable to develop such good attitudes and so forth, then it is inappropriate to mistreat or condemn them in this way, because Buddha has already said so. All sentient beings are able to achieve the state of enlightenment. So it has the Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings. So if you were to contempt others saying in this way, then you're saying your saying is against Buddha's words. Thus, it is inappropriate to act in this way.
바로 그거 숨바 들어와 그거 지문관에 숨바데 생지 주 데메토 비셔라 제와서와 생지 주 데메토 비셔라 제와세 다 생지기 주데 엠버 메바토 비셔라 제와 여기 차 신제라 그 상지지 공부 토야 여러마다 생지기 주데 랑이지 주데나 그 랑이지 주데나 그 상지 공부 토야 거네요 와 생지 주데 랑이지 주데나 그 상지 공부 토야 거네요 다 생지기 주 랑이지 마두게 얼마나 또 비셔라 제와 여기서 근데 비셔라 제와 여기 상지 공부 토야 여기서
그래서 선생님이 그 데메도
또 비셔라 제와 여러와 와 생지 주데 데마르미리 데마르미 또 비셔라 다 생지 주 나 방지지 마두게 동안 되와 동안 또 생지 주 데마르미 또 비셔라 제와 여와 송장 다 상지 공부 토야 여기서 생지기 주데 내가다 랑이지 주차나 동원의 상지 공부 토야
And the third purpose is to generate wisdom, realizing the continuum of sentient beings as non-truly existent. I repeat, to generate wisdom, realizing the continuum of sentient beings as non-truly existent. So while saying that, so to say that to generate wisdom, realizing the continuum of sentient beings as non-truly existent, it also implies that all sentient beings can achieve the state of enlightenment. To continuum of sentient beings as to realize the continuum of sentient beings as non-truly existent, in other words, is to realize the continuum of sentient beings as non-inherent existence. So while realizing the continuum of sentient beings as non-truly existent, then all sentient beings is in fact can achieve the state of enlightenment. And if the continuum of sentient beings were to exist truly or were to exist inherently, then it would be true that sentient beings are unable to achieve the state of enlightenment. So here it says that to generate wisdom, realizing the continuum of sentient beings as non-fully existent. So it says that the continuum of sentient beings are in fact non-fully existent, non-inherent existence. So through this, then all sentient beings, since the continuum of sentient beings are not fully existent, are not inherent existence, therefore sentient beings can achieve the state of enlightenment.
다 시바데가 간다 다 신직기는 되어시비 님고 템발라 고바 카레스나 다 신직기는 되어시비 님고 여바도 시지어요 그와 그 신직기인지라 되어시비 님고도 시지어요 되어시비 님고도 시지어요 여기서 신지라 다 간다 먼저 선지식 공부 도약이 저런 다 요도면서 들어와 저런 요도면서 들어와 선지식 공부 먼저 시지기 과 같이 짜 시지기라 무엇을 봐 같이 짜야 다 님고 요도면서 다 대화시 님고 요바도 이시네 그와 어떤 신직기는 되어시비 님고 요바도 이시지야 그래서 대화시 님고 요바도 그와
요도면도 가서
대화시 님고
대화시
요바도 이시 이시지와요 그래서 와
예.
대화시 님고 요바도 이시지와요 차 신지라 아 시지 님고 그 요도면서 들 와 이제 가든 님고 선지식 공부 도와라 어찌 진게 또 시지와 시지와 텔레파 님고 요도면서 다 대화시 님고 요바도 이시네
대화시 닝고
요바도 이시네 어디래 보다 대송자 아 간다 예배 진짜 단지질라 대화시 님고 요바도 그밖에 못 와요 그래서 선지식 공부 도와 간다 누가디요 누가 상황 와
지원마도 타마데
아마 다 샴바 샴바디 나와 샴바
야마키야.
샴바치야 와
And next one is to generate exalted wisdom, realizing that essence exists in the continuum of other sentient beings. I repeat, to generate exalted wisdom, realizing that essence exists in the continuum of other sentient beings. So, yes, since since one can generate the exalted wisdom, realizing that essence exists in the continuum of other sentient beings, so therefore, all sentient beings can, since one can generate the exalted wisdom, realizing that essence exists in the continuum of sentient beings, which is the direct antidote to the knowledge obscurations. So, and therefore, all sentient beings can achieve the state of enlightenment. So the purpose of showing that, the purpose of generating exalted wisdom, realizing that essence exists in the continuum of other sentient beings, is to achieve the state of enlightenment. So in order to achieve the state of enlightenment, then one must counteract knowledge obscuration. So in order to counteract knowledge obscuration, one must cultivate the direct antidotes to it. And the direct antidote to it is the exalted wisdom, realizing that the Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings. So through cultivating these indispensable direct antidotes to knowledge obscurations, then one will achieve the state of enlightenment. All sentient beings will achieve the state of enlightenment. And the last one is to generate loving kindness. The last one is to generate loving kindness. So these are the five great purposes of showing Tathāgata essence exists in the continuum of all sentient beings. So the last one is to generate loving kindness. So this purpose of generating loving kindness also refers to the method aspects. So in these five purposes, it indicates the method aspect, and also indicates the wisdom aspect as well, the method and wisdom aspect. So through the in the through the through the inseparability of method and wisdom, then one can achieve the state of enlightenment. So why do we say that all sentient beings can achieve the state of enlightenment? Because this inseparability of method and wisdom can be generated. So since it can be generated, then one can achieve the state of enlightenment.
라디오를 나도 칸 눈에 되었다. 그 칸으로 되어도 그 칸으로 되어도 이 따도 되지만 약지기 제일에 스타트 쉬어도 옛날 쉬어도 와
비단도.
그 뒤따도 이 따도 근데 되기 싫어 약지기 제일 얘도 제일에 해서 진짜 쉬어 어디만 쉬어다 결이고 주마다 집이 되기니지 얘네들 되기 싫어 이게 돼서도 이주에 데뷔 쪄봐 연합 미스로 와래 다다 데뷔 쪄봐도 연합 미스로 그래 다 연 신제라 되기 싫어래 다 도로 다 요마로와 대신 데뷔 쪄봐도 요마로와 연합다 되기 싫어 마도 요마로와 연합 되기 싫어 또 그랬다 가다로와 연 신제도 되기 싫어 마도 미쳐이 지 요마 아 연합 데뷔 쪄봐도 요바이나 미스 되기 싫어 공부래 미스로 그래 요마래 그 데뷔 데뷔 쪄봐 가야 마통시지 아도마 마도기 때미나 쪄봐 미나가 쪄봐 삼아 누비지 이 따다 양바 샤바 예 저거 이 따다 양바 샤바 가마서 산지 디시바 되게 같이 신내 시서시나 나다 인겐지라 양바 샤자 가다 시선지 대신데 맨 지금으로 와 그들에시고
So connecting the base alone, then in the sutra it says, Shariputra, the actuality of the suchness with defilement is the objects of Tathāgatas. If the elaborations of true existence were to exist, they would be observable. But elaborations of true existence are not at all seen. Equipoise is always placed based on the disappearance of elaborations of dualistic appearances. So here it says, if the elaborations of true existence were to exist, then they would be observable. So meaning that if elaborations of true existence were to exist, then it would be suitable. It would be suitable to be observed by the Tathāgata. It will be seen by the Tathāgatas. However, elaborations of true existence are not do not exist. Do not exist, and then they are not seen, and they are not suitable to be observed by the Tathāgata, because elaborations of true existence do not exist. And Buddha is always remain in the equipoise based on the disappearance of elaborations of dualistic appearance, meaning that it is placed based on the vanishing of the is based on the vanishing of the elaborations of dualistic appearance. So equipoise is always placed based on the vanishing of the elaborations of dualistic appearances. So meaning that Buddha or Tathāgata is 24 hours always remain in equipoise while working, while spontaneously enacting the welfare of sentient beings. So Tathāgata or Buddhas, they are 24 hours. They are 24 hours remaining in the equipoise while spontaneously enacting the welfare of sentient beings.
어디 오르만 이가로와 어디 오르만 아니가 열리 신지 땡땡 요만 이거 아스진도와 이거 사진 이바디 이니바도와 아니바도 같은 놈 마도도 시바이나 아까다 컴퓨터 무슨 메디다 상지 탄지시 제가 친구와 나시 상지 탄지시로와 먼저 고로와 이제 상지 탄지시 그 친구와다 대취지 다음에 줘봐 보기 이바다 제와 지 다음에 줘봐 그 친구와 나시로와 그 친구와 나시去他们都把我们你把它摘那，让给写了去中英就送，他说我从这里把你养大吧，西巴养大吧，到把你嘛也是他看他，那你嘛是他这个很多嘛就把这个话， 你这个让上去之后的话，我情报的哪些去当面做吧，你把它成为什么事？你把它
去当面
我去当面工你把它去当面做吧，你把它我做吧工你把它，但是我们那个听到做吧工的说，你把它找完也是吧？那你把这个，这让你写了去教明就是，让你写了去教明就是台上公司也明白，你都这样打把结巴，打把没些，那得了，打把没到我们你说的你把全部哪些都去当面做吧，但你嘛做吧工你也是，那得了，那习惯是教大家也是，你让这个让什么，你让爸爸这个就是老的，那说教给我靠了，我说他。
And the second outline is never being the object of others. And it says, since all hearers and solitary realizers are devoid of the ability to complete the meditation on the selflessness of phenomena in the way of Mahāyāna practitioners, if they cannot correctly know, view, or analyze this actuality with their wisdom in the three stages of preparation, actual, and final, then what need is there to mention childish ordinary beings? So here it says that all hearers and solitary realizers, they do not have the ability as Mahayana practitioners, because they do not have the ability like the Mahayana practitioners in completing the meditation on the selflessness of phenomena. Thus, it says all hearers and solitary realizers are devoid of the ability to complete the meditation on the selflessness of phenomena. So they are unable to complete the meditation on the selflessness of phenomena like Mahayana practitioners do. So if so they cannot correctly know, view, or analyze this actuality with their wisdom. So their hearers and solitary realizers cannot correctly know, view, or analyze this actuality with their wisdom, like as Mahayana practitioners do. So in the three stages of preparation, the actual session, and the conclusion or final session, in these three stages of the three phases. So if those hearers and solitary realizers are unable to correctly know, view, or analyze, then no need to mention that childish ordinary beings, they definitely cannot correctly know, view, or analyze.
第二天我了嘛，你修的多嘛，今年年底的让上去弄的，今年好了嘛，是吧？年底的让上去，把上去讲，连当个电把我说的是联系是吧？好，也看到个今年年底他多的修是吧？也是多的。那刚才年底的让上去，把上去讲，连当个电把的我说的是个联系我是吧？是没去，你那样，那我们早些的了嘛，电把那些。点他们点不了，这个基本是比错太个是比那个菜不了，大概呢，你错太个过呢，那空的去都买的，空就有买的是了，是吧？中国来的是吧？中国来的呢，我们早些的点把那些点他们点不了，这个是比基本错太个过呢，空的去都买的，这把前面我说我们那么大。点他们点不了，让到这些了，我那工作结果就去都买的是，那这把进步。那是我们宁波那些也点他们点罢了，让到写了不能被，结果去动你个妈的也是，让你写了就到我们你说去，这里嘛的，你让你写了，那地方就点的那地方人家跑这个，让你写了就到你个妈的是都的了哇，我到你个妈的是，让你写了就到是没你比他也是了哇，那让你写了就到是没你吧是，说的没你吧的，我们早写的点吧当然，那点他们点罢了。그러니까 지금 비서 타입의 거는 모두 치고 말해서 모두 치고 말해서 근데 들어와 그러니까 지금 가서 한번 넘어 들어와 넘어다 넘어 또 만나시 이때 담배 때문에 또지 제가 보내고 제가 또 말해서 된다도 돼 마시고 뭐또 말해서 계속 왔다 또 말해 또 말해서 계속 그래서 우리가 이게 봐봐다 한상제 봐봐 건강에 된다면 대망은 수도 또 그래서 그래서 또 그래 이나 끝받침에 가서 한번
정답 방금 수도 동의해.
무슨 또 그래 끝받침에 가서 한번 넘어 또 봐나시 간다 모두 그 말이에요 내가 나 그래
So then he says, hence, hearers and solitary realizers also directly realize ultimate truth, but do not deeply understand it through an extensive collections of reasoning that cut through the elaborations of ultimate truth, as shown in Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom of the middle way, since they cannot realize some ultimate truth with the intrinsic strength of a wisdom that constantly develops, as is the case with sharp faculty Mahāyāna practitioners. This is the meaning of their not being able to view, know, and analyze with inner wisdom. So here, if someone were to ask, hearers and solitary realizers, do they directly realize ultimate truth or not? Then the answer is yes, they do directly realize ultimate truth. So it's just that, so if someone were to say that, or hearers and solitary realizers, they do not directly realize ultimate truth, then that is not the case. That is not true. So because hearers and solitary realizers, they do directly realize ultimate truth. It's just that they are unable to deeply understand it through an extensive collections of reasoning that cut through the elaborations of ultimate truth, like those sharp faculty Mahāyāna practitioners. So in the Nagarjuna fundamental wisdom of the middle way, so it says that since they cannot realize ultimate truth with the intrinsic strength of a wisdom, so intrinsic strength of a wisdom in it can also be translated as by the wisdom by their own power. So they cannot realize ultimate truth by the wisdom by their own power. Cannot realize ultimate truth with the wisdom by their own power that constantly develops, as is the case with sharp faculty Mahāyāna practitioners. So this is the meaning of their not being able to feel, know, and analyze with inner wisdom. So with inner wisdom also means that by their own wisdom, by their own wisdoms. So means that hearers and solitary realizers, they do directly realize ultimate truth. It's just that they are unable to deeply understand it through an extensive collections of reasoning. And it says, Shariputra, the ultimate is to be realized by hearers and solitary realizers through faith in the Tathāgata. So meaning that the ultimate is, hearers and solitary realizers, they realize ultimate truth. It's just that they realize it through faith in the Tathāgata. So hearers and solitary realizers, they are unable to realize ultimate truth through this extensive collections of reasoning or limitless collections of reasoning. So they can only they realize it. They realize it through faith in Tathāgata. They do not realize it through extensive or limitless collections of reasoning. So what is to be taken from this is that they realize the substances of phenomena, but in comparison to Mahāyāna practitioners, they are of inferior faculty. So meaning that hearers and solitary realizers, they realize the substances of phenomena, but they are unable to realize it like those Mahāyāna practitioners. So because in comparison to those Mahāyāna practitioners, those sharp faculty one, to those hearers and solitary realizers, they are inferior or dull faculty.
어디 올라가서 숨바다 숨바다 단위 요즘 예수 아니와 세지 숨바다 요즘 예수 아니와 그 대단한 라신 예수 아니 땅가서 가는 돌마 시우도 그 라신 예수 안 돌마 그 저리고 대단한 뭐 정말 집이 되니 이제 샤워되네 그 점이 중세자 마다 변해가는 생기지 같이 치라서 어서나가 이제 같이 치라서 되게 대단하대 더 지나봐 그런 거 이제 시장도와 다 가다 저리고 대단한 뭐 정말 집이 되니 이제 샤워되 그 점이 중세자 마다 변해가는 그 생기지 같이 치라서 생기지 같이 미나라 치라서 미나라와 생기지 칸다 미나라 상계대 마도 와 사탄지 봐 미나라 상계대 된지 봐 해로 와 미나라 상계
된지 봐 말아.
된지 봐 해로
된지 봐래요.
된지 봐
미나다래 된지 봐.
미나다 다나다 시고 와 미나다 다나다 되면 된지 봐 해서
So in relation to these that we have talked about, so it doesn't mean that hearers and solitary realizers do not realize the ultimate truth. So what he's saying is just that the meaning is hearers and solitary realizers are unable to realize the ultimate truth. They do realize ultimate truth, but they do not realize ultimate truth like those Mahāyāna practitioners, those sharp faculty ones. So then we go to next outline, identifying the nature of the ultimate. And it says, Shariputra, the ultimate, the suchness with defilement, is a destination for the basic element of sentient being at a time when it is not purified of any defilements. So the ultimate, the suchness with defilements is a destination. So destination also means that it is a different name for the basic elements of sentient beings at the time when it is not purified of any defilements. So it's a different name, the meaning is the same. So is a destination means that it's a different name for the basic element of sentient beings at a time when it is not purified of any defilements, but the meaning is the same. Different name, but the meaning is the same.
어디 얼마 벌레 운다 어디 얼마 셔리 무슨 지지 칸시 샤오다 지고도 맞아 신지 칸지 치라다 세고 와 어디 올라 셔리 무슨 지지 칸시 샤와는 정말 찌리 빠마다 이제 정말 조세 좀 봐봐 와 그러니까 나도 정말 찌리 빠마지 와 정말 찌리 빠마지 이 중세자 중세의 찌리 내가 와 중세의 찌리 내가 나 디시 민비기 치라다 나 디시 민비 미나나를 쓰들 와 이게 민비 치라다 예세 예 다시 보면 디지 쳐도 와
So so he says so there are three parts here. So the first part says that the ultimate suchness with defilements is a destination for the basic element of sentient beings at the time when it is not purified of any defilements. And the second sentence it says, Shariputra, the basic elements of sentient beings is designated as the Tathāgata essence when the appropriate defilements have been abandoned but some remain. So it's designated as or is a destination for the Tathāgata essence when the appropriate defilements have been abandoned but some remain. So the second sentence is different from the first one because here it says that at the time when it is not purified of any defilements. And the second sentence it says that when the appropriate defilements have been abandoned but some remain.
다 결이 디지미 님보데 님보시 자원인데 다 정말 타다고 음반하다 대 정말 타다고 음반을 보러 정말 타다고 음반을 다 치주고 있지가 다 대하나 참. 다 가다 디지 님보데 예 정말 타다가 가 이런 맛 다 좋아서 보러 정말 타다 가디 음반을 다 치고 그랬어. 치고 미나나시. 미나나 다 대지 말해서
And then the third one, it says, Shariputra, the Tathāgata essence, is designated as the Dhammakaya when it is completely free of all defilements or when it is completely devoid of all defilements. So when it is completely free or devoid of all defilements, then the Tathāgata essence is designated as the Dhammakaya. So is a destination for is a destination of Dhammakaya. So it's a different name for the Dhammakaya, but the meaning is the same.
라디오는 아 대신이 기부 좀마다 집이 내가나 생기지 칸다 뒤집이 님모히 안에 시작을 해서 뭐라 요걸 하러도 대신이 기부 아 대신이 지쳐시고라 대신이 기부 좀마다 집이 내가나 생기지 칸다 뒤집이 님모야 하고 해서
So this suchness alone, also means that this suchness in general, so is given the names, basic elements of sentient beings and Tathāgata essence at the time of it having defilements.
라디오라 갈 수거든 다 정말 타다가 얼마나 다 대신이 들어와 대신이 정말 타다가 얼마나 다 취직을 해서 다 가지고 대신이 들어
So it is called the Dhammakaya when it is completely free of all defilements. So when it is completely free of all defilements, then it is called Dhammakaya.
라디오는 저거 바지 지신 줘서 고치자 말에 스펠은 맞아 대신이데 20년 보래 임주제가 엄마도 집에 내가나 20년 보래 해서 나도 거래 가서 또 뭐지 내가 봐야 다 산지 주주 구인 받아 이거는 이제 뭐 이거 미치나 되다 이거서 이제 다른 누구 믿으세요 그러다 당신 다섯 당신 믿으세요 그러다 근데신 그 대신이데 20년 보이 있으라고 막 대신이 있어 그러다 찔러 차는 거야 찔러 와 그래서 20년 보서와다 정말 집에서 진행하고 그러와 뭐그러와 생신이 좋아 이라고 그러와 나도 나 대신이데 20년 보 했어 이 님보 왜 이미 주제가 정말 집에 내가나 20년 보 했어 내가 대신 님보 찾아고 해야 되거든 대신 보 이거 뭐 했어 와 정말 집에 내가나 20년 보 이나야 주인데 대신이네 20년 보 이거 뭐 했어 나도 유쇼 와 나들이 나타나 대도에 인해서 들어와 아까는 원래 시라다서 와들어와 시라다서 와들어서 저런다 그냥 간다 미나라 들어와 너난다 그냥 해마도 얘난다 봐 말해서 얘난다 봐 말해서 배샤오데 람보라 라데지 저게 라데라 람비 마셔봐 나시리에서 그러와
So this part, from here up to this part, is a debate. So it's quite difficult to understand. So I will not go through it. So in brief, so take that suchness. So suchness here is the suchness in general. Then it follows that it is the Tathāgata essence because it is the Tathāgata essence at the time of having defilements. Then if you accept, then it follows that it is the Dhammakaya because when it is free of defilements, it is the Dhammakaya. So then he says, whoever accepts such a thing does not understand logic. So, so we must understand the logic and the way of debating and so forth. Otherwise, then it's very difficult for us to understand this. So, so here it says a destination. So in this paragraph, and he keeps saying a destination, designated as, right? So a destination is an alternate name. So it's a different name and not necessarily a synonym. So means that not different kasati silada ina dian ming loga re ma to ne thön chi ba ro min nang da ro
치라다서 그래서 민나라 변화를 보고 해서 변화를 말해서
thön nam dang ro
말해서
so destination is an alternate name and not necessarily a name. So destination means is a different name or is a different terms, and it doesn't refers to different meaning. So then it says, for example, hand owner is the name for an elephant in Sanskrit. Hand owner or those who possess hand. So it's a name for an elephant in Sanskrit, but hand owners are not necessarily elephants.
또 람보 라디스다에서 맞아 람보질에 또 람보질 라바다 데바레스 라데 자이로라 맞아 람보질 라바다 데는 나지 람보질 라디스다에 범미시 전부 좋아 되게 시골에 애지가 또 처음 하려고 저 람보를 라디지 요르데 이나 라디 이제 그거 라바다 이제 그거 람보지 이거 봐 라바다 이제 그거 람보지 이거 다요래 다들 라바다 데레스 들어와 다들 다들 루트 나와 되면 엄청 좋고 뭐지 와 어쨌든 제대로 될 수 없대
So here he's talking about here he talks about pervasion. So hence hand owner is a name for an elephant. So we do say that elephant and then hand owner refers to elephant. So it is a name for an elephant. So hand owner or those who possess hand then is the name for an elephant. However, not all hand owners are elephants. So it says, but hand owners are not necessarily elephants. So here it talks about the generality and the particularity. So it talks about pervasions. So those who possess hand, like for example, sheep, horse, and so forth, they possess hand, right? But they are not necessarily elephants.
어디 오는 뭐 인도 내가만 페이지 찾아 심은 내가만 좀 맞춰서 인도 어디 이월 시작하는 이제서래 이 강간들에다 이제 강간을 너만이 페이지 찾으려 해서 강간 페이지 처리부 된다 뭐 이기니 시지도 정말 중대자 마다 내가나 생기지 칸이 지나다 서다 뭐 이마 끼리 뭐 빠지 대디시 민비기 지나다 민도 띵가만이 되니라 자르와 되니 페이지 찾아
띵가만이 나데 가자
페이지 찾으려 해서
생진기 감당 대신 12닝보
어디
가만히 돼
오행만 들어와 진짜 컨셉이 있는 거야 진짜 컨셉이 있는 거 되니 페이지 찾으려 해서 이 페이지 찾으려 이나 심마 마타다 이미 주민도와 마타다 이엠바데 데라 가다 이집이 뭐에 말했어 보러 마타다 이엠바데라 심마는 것만 이차고 말이야 심마 마타다 이엠자데 다 간니 차고 뭐 이집이 뭐 말했어 보러 어떻게 된다 되죠
드마타다기 땡베 장축 대신
드마타다 이미 주구지와 주주고 지나갔습니다 드마타다 이엠바 어디다 가만히 이거 말했어 보러
So then it says, so it says the previous two. So the previous two refers to the basic elements of sentient beings and the Tathāgata essence. So pervade each other. So basic elements of sentient beings and the Tathāgata essence are mutually pervasive. But the latter refers to the Dhammakaya, free of all defilements, so is not pervaded by the former two. So the later Dhammakaya is these two are mutually pervasive, and however the later one, the Dhammakaya, that is free of all defilements, is not pervaded by the former two. So this is correct pervasion.
That is trouble conflict civilization is trouble 들어와. trouble that is 맞기랑 그거 뭐 좋은데. 그것마다 이미 자기들 20년 그 시중에서 담아들다. 그것마다 이미 자기들 20년 뭐 때문에 시중에서 잡는 것이 나가서 다시 20년 뭐 세워야 다 생기기라 잡으면서 치티기 다 하고.
가다는 대신 12년
뭐 되가 생기기라 맞아 그러면 선지사가 야야요. 그래서 근데 들어온다. 그것마다 이미 자기들 20년 뭐 때문에 시주제제 내가 싫어서 좋아. 어디 대단히 모두 그래요. 뭐 타다 이미 정주 좋아. 뭐 타다 이미 정주 때 아주 그때 20년 뭐 아주 20년 뭐 이미 시주제제 이거 말했어. 뭐 타다 정주 20년 뭐라 때문에 20년 뭐 때문에 시주제제 이거 말했어. 좋아. 어디
So and it says there is not a single line.
maybe. 나만이네 주인에가다 진짜 맛이 줄어요. 근데 근데 되어서 나만 다시 보더니 들어와. 어디 나만 들어와.
주인에가다.
주인에가다 진짜 맛이 줄어요. 그 자와서 되어 창상이 시작이 그래서라고. 다시 말도 그래. 주말당에 들어와. 맞아. 주말당에 장주대 대시모님 뭐 때문에 지주서 제가 말해서 대 가만 어머니 제가 나다 시키고 들어와. 나만 대신 뭐 지와 다시 니와 어디니로
저마다 기분 미장주 대신 12년 뭐
어디 심마 숨마지와 들어와.
식중세 그냥 요 말어.
요 말했어. 第一是不宁波的西要马来西亚的，第一就宁波的西边给自己要马来西亚的，那么他那个没强求的，那么他那个没强求的，第一是宁波的对面，自己这些要马来西亚要马来西亚的，他的老的，他好像第一是宁波的，我那生气知道吗？他上去下来也还这么多。
So this pervasion, it says that the previous two, the basic elements of sentient beings and the Tathāgata essence, pervade each other, but the later, the Dhammakaya, is not pervaded by the former two. And this is because, so the former two exist at the time of the cause, so they exist at the causal stage, and they exist only in the continuum of sentient beings, according to both the root verses and Asanga's commentary. So in root verses and also in Asanga commentaries, it also shows that they exist only these two basic elements of sentient beings and the Tathāgata essence exist only in the continuum of sentient beings. So there is not a single line that says that enlightenment free from all defilement is the Tathāgata essence. So there's in the root verses and in the commentary, they do not say that enlightenment free from all defilement is the Tathāgata essence. So this is the reason stated to prove this pervasion, that the later, the Dhammakaya, is not pervaded by the former two. So through this, then we can understand that through this sentence, there is no line says that enlightenment free from all defilements is the Tathāgata essence. So this implies that Tathāgata essence only exists in the continuum of sentient beings. Sentient beings, it doesn't exist on the Buddha ground. So here we have covered some quotations from the sutra. So because here it states or indicates the three jewels taught in the modes of teaching three jewels in the sutra. So since it's important, so then we covered this quotation from the sutra. So otherwise, in general, this quotation from the sutra are difficult to understand. So then the following verses and so forth, then we will try to go through the root verse together with the commentary. So today we... Yeah, so up to this point, today, up to this point, then we are in this particular point, we are talking about identifying the nature of the ultimate. So therefore, we have we explain it together with the quotation from the sutra. So today, so we will stop here today. I could say you We conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. In particular, we dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Gyaltsab Lama Sopa Rinpoche. So Rinpoche has already taken rebirth. So we dedicate these roots of virtue for Rinpoche's long life, and may all Rinpoche's holy wishes be accomplished without any obstacles and spontaneously. We also dedicate these roots of virtue for world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, pandemic diseases be pacified immediately. Tabe kiwa di tendang ruwa kun la kan be dang chi suen shou sang dang wa yi ten be yin bo rin do se chi shu jiang chu sen chu rin bo jie ma kie pa dang ki gyu ji yan ma me ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa shu jia pe pa yue chi da chen ma dang kon do sang bo de yang di jin de de da kun ki chi su da lo jie di da da jie ra dong mo dong ye da wa rin bo jie ma kie pa dang ki gyu ji kie ma yang ma ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa shu chen ye da wa rin bo jie ma kie pa dang ki gyu ji kie ma yang ma me ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa shu din che su do ju be lang chi de se se kan chen de lu cha da pi mo ti ji ka zo la so wa de so chen de lu du shu de ka te pe de ma su ba kan le jong wei san bei xin lo kan de zu me tian jing ya zo la so wa de so du xie lu du shu
不仅有有的我的话全面的养生全面的有的话当然是推荐的对这么
养生全面
的养生全面配菜的话配菜的话有的我这话去用把其他很多有的用去的哇有这有这么这么去看一直看一直上一直
So the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche has already taken rebirth. So for quickly meeting with the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche, and for the sake of quickly receiving the Dharma teachings from Rinpoche again, then we will recite a Mixema several times.